What was your mindset like when you came out, when you went into surgery? Was there any reservations?
Um, so when I had the weight loss surgery, at the time I was married, and my husband at the time was against me having surgery. Like he wanted me to remain fat for whatever reason, and I don't know if I'm going off topic or
No.
and like a lot of people say people have surgeries for guys or for women, whatever the case may be. I had my surgery for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get rid of the diabetes and the high blood pressure, and I wanted to be shaped because I ain't gonna say I never, but once I started having kids, that shape just went out of whack and went away, and I just could never get it back. And I like the dress. And like she was saying, she looked good at her dresses and stuff. I wanted to be able to wear my back out. I want to be able to wear jeans. I wouldn't wear a pair of boyfriend jeans because they don't stretch. Like everything I wear has to stretch to make me look like I got some type of, and I don't. And so it was all for me. Like everything mentally was for me. But you do have to have a support system when you have these surgeries, because after surgery you need that support. You need that support emotionally because it bothers you emotionally. You need it mentally. You need it physically. You need help. Like you really need a support system having these surgeries. So, I had a couple people that supported it or whatever. Like I said, my grandmother, she was here at the time. She definitely supported me being healthier, and my mom, she helped me a whole lot. Like after the lipo, because I understand now why people have the recovery houses, because you really need that. You really need to be in a recovery house, especially having that lipo. And like you said, you had 12 holes. I had about 20 holes in my back, and it was like the first and second night at the lipo was like a murder scene at my mother's house.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Like draining blood. Like I literally had to put shower curtains and pads, incontinent pads on the bed. I went through a whole pack of incontinent pads in one night. Like it was bad. And then you'd be all sore. You can't move. I probably ordered 6 or 7 different orthopedic pillows to try to get comfortable. I couldn't sleep. Like the pain medicine did not help. Like it was just really bad. And yeah, so you really have to be mentally and emotionally prepared for surgery.
Gotcha. What was your mindset going into surgery? Like, did you have a strong support system? Well, you and I talked, so I know that you did. But tell the people, did you have a strong support system? What was your mindset? Were you afraid? Did you start to have reservations because you weren't prepared as you thought you were? Or were you ready? Like, I'm getting what I finally wanted to do. Were you ready?
So, butterflies, I will let you guys know that I was ready to go. I was mentally prepared. I was physically prepared. My support system was amazing. You have to, like Tara said, you have to have someone there with you and for you 24/7. You can't move. I had to prepare myself with bed pads, maxi pads, Depends. I even had Depends. Because after a 360 lipo, for me, I had 12 holes. So I had to make sure that the bed that I was standing on, because I didn't want to go in a recovery house. I did not want to be in there with other females, hearing them whining and me whining and, acting a fool of myself, because you're in pain and it's uncontrollable. So, I went to a hotel with 2 separate bedrooms, with a kitchen, a dining room, I had a living room. So it was like my own little apartment with my support system there with me the whole time that I was there. But you have to be prepared. I was ready. My mind was made up. I made my appointment. It took me 8 months to actually have the surgery done. So I had a whole 8 months to get myself prepared. Not that I like pain like others, but I knew that this is what I wanted. And everyone is saying, it's not for you men out there. Not at all. This was for me. This was for when I look in the mirror every day, what I see about myself. My insides can be as beautiful as they want to be, but how do I feel when I look in the mirror? You know, how many times do I have to buy Spanx and girdles and, you know, as I was telling Tiara, I said, you know, I can't even give you before and after pictures because I hit it so well.
And I was shocked by that.
I hit it so well that I couldn't give.
I was shocked when you sent me your before picture, and I'm thinking about a picture that I saw of you in this bad dress one time on your birthday. You would never know that was your before. Never. You were snatched in that birthday dress. I remember.
Thanks to J.C. Penney and that girdle.
Yeah.
You know,
I got
had
so
me
tired of buying them things.
without surgery.
They
I
don't
mean,
even know. Like
yeah, but like once again, you know, my support system was excellent, and I was prepared via talking to friends.
you know, what was your mindset when they wheeled you off? Like, were you ready? You told us beforehand that you are not shy to pain.
Yeah. So I actually like pain, but it's depend on what type of pain. Like, I don't want nobody just slapping me and me not knowing. Something like that is a no. Nah. But like pain, as far as that, it's just like people who like tattoos. Like I have a high threshold for pain, so like I love tattoos. I love things that I feel like are gonna hurt me. It's weird, but I think it's a sensation. It's a mind thing. It is a mind thing because just like when you eat, I'm an emotional eater, so even after you get the surgery, you still have to maintain the weight loss. You know what I'm saying? So that's still a mind thing.
Yeah.
So you have to worry about that. But I feel like I was prepared and I had the emotional support because the first round my husband was there, and I was giving him the blues. And and let me tell you the bad part about it was when I went down, I got the first round of surgery. I had paid a nurse to come and she was supposed to stay at my hotel. She never showed up. Now I got surgery a week before COVID shut everything down.
Wow.
So she never showed up. She said she had COVID, right? And at the time, no one knew how bad
What
COVID was.
was.
So she says, "Do you still want me to come? Because I think I got COVID." And I said, "No. Why would I want you to come if you got COVID?" But she never gave me my money back, no nothing. So my husband, at first I was going to tell him don't come because he was getting on my nerves. So I'm so glad and very thankful that I did have a husband who was there 150%, and then my best friend came too for the first round. And I was in pain, and you really do need somebody because like even the little piece of work that they did on my arms, I couldn't really lift myself. I couldn't do anything. It is very painful, and I basically had to pee in a trash bucket. I couldn't make it to the bathroom, stuff like that. But my husband like basically had to. It wasn't a wheelchair, but this lady had made something, so I had a specialty nurse who he ended up finding, who came and would see me and did like massages and stuff. But I was tore up that first time, and it was very painful. The second time around, my husband couldn't come. So my best friend came. I had to beg her to come because she was like, "I don't like to see you like that," and it's very bloody. It's a very bloody scene, like you said, it looks like a massacre. So she came. My other friend that we've been friends since high school, she came and she helped. And I had them come in sessions, and then another one of my girlfriends came too. And they took good care of me. And then at that time I was at a hotel that I would definitely tell people to get if they were to go to Miami to have surgery. It's a particular hotel where they get their own room. You get your own room, but you share a common area where you'll have like like the kitchen, so you can cook and everything there. So that was a good hotel. I gotta remember what it is, but I'll tell you. So if you need to put that up there, but you need that support. And me having the second time around getting the arms done, to me, arms is worse than anything else.
I'm glad you told me.
Arms is worse than anything else. And that is the hard, to me, that's the, it doesn't really retract though. That's the thing. So you get the work done, and your arms, you really can't get up. You can't really do nothing without your arms. You don't know how valuable your arms are until you don't have them.
Yeah.
So did you have a lift or did you have a lipo on your arms?
So I had lipo on my arms. I had lipo on the inside of my arms, but my arms was never really that big anyway, but I still wanted it done. But I don't really feel like it retracted as much, but I also had other issues that complicated why I couldn't keep wrapping and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that when you get to that.
Okay, so the question that everybody has already delved into, but we all been waiting for, is give me a brief description of your post-op experience, the soreness, the drainage, the massacre scene, the travel back home, everything that you experienced. This is the raw and uncut part. So, what did you experience, Tyra, with everything?
My breast reduction, I wasn't really in a lot of pain. Period. The worst was taking the drains out. Like, it just felt funny. The gastric, they had me up the same night walking around St. Agnes Hospital. It was painful, like in my lower stomach, because all this hanging fat from my stomach was so heavy. So I'm walking around the hospital carrying my stomach. But the more you walk, the more your body lifts up. And that's what people don't. When you get surgery or when you're sick, don't lay around in the house or in the bed, because it makes you sicker and your body gets stiffer. The more you get up and walk, the faster your body heals.
I've heard that before.
It does.
I've heard that.
They tell you that.
The more I got up and walked, the more my body would come up. I could feel it coming up, and I could stand straight up after a while. However, after the lipo to my back, that was the worst out of all the surgeries. It took me a little longer, I think. It was expected for me to be okay in 3 days, that I was told, oh, you'll be good after 3 days. Well, I can say my 5th day, I was still in a lot of pain. And I didn't want to walk nowhere. I didn't want to exercise. I didn't want to do anything. It was so, the doctor was very extensive on my back, because I had so much back fat and so many rolls. And he had to get, aggressive with me. Plus, I was burnt, which burning does happen sometimes with people with lipo, depending on how aggressive the doctor is.
What do you mean burnt?
Like, my skin was burnt to the white meat.
Oh.
Like 3rd degree.
So I couldn't get my massages and stuff right away. I couldn't wear my shaper or nothing. Nothing could touch my skin because I was burnt. I had to wait for my burning to heal using creams and stuff like that before I can go and get anything else I needed done post-op.
Okay.
However, what should have been done that I learned, I went to get one of my first lymphatic massages. She had lipo tape. She taped me up in the areas that were still hanging, and that actually helped my burn to heal faster, because the fat was kind of covering my burn and it wasn't getting no air to it or nothing. So I went, the doctor told me don't get no massages. I went anyway, because I'm like, okay, I'm like 2 or 3 weeks post-op. I need to start my massages, because it, my body felt like bricks. I needed that. I needed it pushed out or whatever needed to be done. I needed that to start moving around.
So are they moving fluid out of you, or they
they moving fluid out of you and kind of helping your body to start forming its shape.
Okay.
So the girl who did that, she's actually an RN as well. So she was like, I wish you would have came sooner, and I couldn't. She was like, because she could have helped me with those things that, So
you could have, but you was advised not to.
Yep.
I was advised not to, right? And I probably should have.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, because she helped me out more than the doctor post-op, informational wise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I can say that the lipo was the worst out of all of them. The lipo hurt me. I don't like pain. Little headache, anything, I'm crying. Pain, me and pain don't mix. But I have become addicted to surgery. It's one thing after another. Oh, I need this. I won't be satisfied until I get the look that I went for when I first got the gastric. I want to, So it does become addictive. Like you said, it's an addiction now. So anything that I do like doing, it do become addictive to me. I either go hard or go home. Yeah.
The question is, give us a brief description of your post-op experience. What did you experience as far as soreness, your travel home, that massacre scene that you was explaining earlier?
Okay, so basically, I was prepared. Like I said, I had bed pads, I had maxi pads, I had Depends, because I've had known people who had already just went through the process that I was getting ready to go through. like they both said, massacre scene. I don't know how many pads I went through, but thank goodness I had purchased enough pads, and I even had some more pads to bring back home. But you know, the day of surgery, my support system who was with me, he literally, you know, made sure that the bed was completely covered, because I'm staying in someone else's hotel. I don't want to get blood, you know, everywhere. I had 12 holes, you know, within my body. So I use maxi pads because the day after your surgery, where I went, you immediately go into your lymphatic massages. So, you know, when you have a small hole, it's like, you know, the easiest thing in your mouth to heal is, you know, your tongue or tissue in your mouth. But when you have like a tiny hole, it heals really fast. So each time I went in, they had to reopen them holes back up, and they had to drain the fluids, you know, out of me, which was so disgusting. It was warm and gooey and nasty, but it was very, very helpful. And they tell you all the time to drink plenty of fluids, which I use liquid IV. So one pack of liquid IV equals 3 bottles of water. So I had extra fluids. So the 3, you know, massages that I had purchased, I actually did a 4th one because I had so much fluids build up because of the liquid IV, which was a good thing.
Where did you get that from? Liquid IV?
I ordered it right off of Amazon.
Okay.
So it was like, you know, it was literally a massacre scene, you know, and I also purchased another faja, which was another $150 because you have to keep this faja on, but who wants to keep walking around with this bloody faja?
Right.
So I purchased another faja so I can switch off. So every night my faja was being cleaned, but meanwhile, being as though I knew which holes that they were opening back up, I used maxi pads to cover them holes. So now I don't have a bloody scene anymore.
Right.
My trip home from my BBL, you know, they give you a Bbl pillow. Once again, the BBL is the Brazilian butt lift, and they give you the Bbl pillow, but it doesn't fit in the little small seats, you know, on the airplane. So I literally had to sit on my behind until the plane actually took off. Once the plane took off, I was on my knees the whole time until it was time to land. So that was very uncomfortable. And the biggest thing ever, and I don't know if you ladies had this problem, I was extremely constipated. I was extremely constipated. I literally had to go in there when I came home to start the process of moving my bowels myself personally, because I was so constipated, I couldn't move. Like my body couldn't take it. But one thing that you do need to do is you do need to walk around and things. And I know a lot of people say it hurts, it's painful, but you have to get things moving. You have to get your blood flowing. If you don't, you're just gonna get stiff as a board. My second surgery, pretty simple, no massacre scene. They pretty much had me taped up. You know, my breast was taped up, my incision from hip to hip was taped up. So that was not a scene at all. But I still had the pads, the maxi pads, the pins, because I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
Okay.
And my ride home with that surgery was piece cake.
How long did you have to wait before you got back on the plane?
So they say a week. The first time I shorted myself a day. The second time I did wait a week, because I will say also, for the tummy tuck procedure, I had 2 drains. I had a drain in my hip, and then I had a drain in my lower stomach. So I did want to wait because I didn't know. That goes back to not having the information, if they were going to take the drains out there, or if I was going to have to take the drains out myself. You know, have someone home take the drains out. So I stayed a little bit longer.
So they took them out.
So they took one out because it has to be under 25 cc's. And when I came home 2 weeks later, my lymphatic therapist took the other one out.
That's very informational, because I was wondering, like, who takes the drains out?
So for me, mine, I didn't have drains, and some people that I know that get like the BBL with the Lipo 360, they do have drains, and I think it's also dependent upon what doctor you go to.
Yeah.
Because my sister had drained.
She did,
and I did.
Yep. So the first time around, the surgery was good and everything like that. Really didn't. It was like a massacre, like I said, the bloody part, and couldn't pee, and had to pee in a bucket because I couldn't really make it to the bathroom, stuff like that. But and the pain, they give you like oxycodone and different ones. I didn't take that. I took Tylenol 4 because I didn't want to be addicted, and I've known people who have gotten addicted off of doing it. So I did Tylenol 4, and like I said, I have a high threshold for pain. Tylenol 4 was enough for me to do what I needed to do. But my problem was when I came back home for the lymphatic massages. The girl who was doing my massages on the I basically had some skin died because we had did I forgot, it's a procedure they use, like it's like a wood therapy.
Wood therapy.
So they did wood therapy too early and killed my skin. So
Really?
so on my right side it was like an indent and wasn't ever going to be able to do anything unless I got another liposuction round. So the second time when I went and got liposuction, they were able to fix it, but I myself can still see it, but if I never told it to anybody, they wouldn't be able to tell. But on the second time around, I didn't really have any complications besides like not being able to lift up my arm and the pain that you feel from that. But my complications came after when I came home, because I had like the blood clot issue. I had a blood clot, but I'm not saying that it was from the surgery because I really don't think it came from the surgery because it came. I had got the surgery in September. I got the blood clot, I think it was like October or something, and they were like, if you had got the blood clot extreme right after, it would have been from the surgery. But because I had been flying a lot, they said that they thought that's where it was, that's where it came from. And so I wasn't able to get like the lymphatic massages and the different massages that you need immediately after. So I don't feel like my results could have been as perfect as they would have been, because when I say this doctor snatched me, he snatched me when I got my second surgery done. And I feel like I still have, like, I literally have built up fluid now, and I had the surgery last September, and so the doctor so the lymphatic massage therapist that comes, she's helping me now because I had to wait, I think it was like 4 months to get massages after the fact. But luckily the doctor had to be good, because the first time when I had got the surgery, I had all these hard spots. This time I didn't have any hard spots, and she was like, she couldn't believe that I looked as good as I did without being able to have those massages, because most people, you be messed up. You basically mess up your surgery when you don't have those lymphatic massages.
Absolutely.
Yep.
They are very important.
They're very important. And then just one thing I would say to people is like you have to stay hydrated. Like, that's why I wish I had the IV thing that you were saying. So I'm definitely going to talk to you about that, because I'm definitely going for another round. Okay. And another thing that was helpful was pineapple juice. It has something in it that you're supposed to have when you have surgery. I'm not sure if it's the acid that's in the pineapple. I don't know what it is, but pineapple
they
juice.
recommend fresh pineapples.
Yes.
They do.
And I had yep. And then I also had, like, if you're not hungry, eat smoothies. So I did that, and I think that really helped me too. But like, my thing is maintaining the weight loss or the shape once you get it done.
Yeah.
So that's the thing for me.
So what was the most challenging part of your recovery, and do you have any regrets?
I had no regrets. The most challenging thing for me was the burning, when me being burnt from the lipo. I have no regrets. Like, I feel amazing, and like you said, it boosts my It boosts my confidence. Like, I love my before and after pictures. I'm not one of the ones taking all my fat pictures off my page and all of that. I love to show people where I came from, where I am, and where I'm still going, because I'm not finished.
What was the most challenging part of your recovery, and do you have any regrets?
I have no regrets at all. I am super excited that I was financially stable to go through these procedures, because they weren't cheap at all. It's not a regret, but I will tell you, I thought that I was flying high, because after my breast augmentation, I had no problems until 3.5 weeks afterwards. So now I'm going through the itchy feeling. You know, if you see me keep going like this, I mean, they're healing, and it's
where
like,
the itch come from.
and I have what they call spitting sutures. So I have spitting sutures that are, you know, spitting out, not only with my tummy tuck, but they're spitting out my breast. Now, when it comes to my tummy tuck, it's fine. But with my breast, you know, it's giving me like raw spots where the sutures were trying to spit out.
Wow.
And they weren't able to spit out because I was wearing a sports bra, which I was advised to wear a sports bra. And once I called the emergency hotline, it was like, well, who told you to wear a sports bra? Well, the MA told me to wear a sports bra my first day out of pre-op. So I was supposed to wear the surgical bra all that time, but I was actually wearing the sports bra. But absolutely, I have no regrets at all. This was for me.
And you look amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I feel amazing, you know, and it may be surgery again for me, but it may not be surgery for me because my main goal was, you know, my tummy tuck, but I have no regrets at all.
For me, the one thing that I'll say that I regret is after I had the surgery the first time, COVID came. So I wish that I had exercised a little bit more. So that probably would be one of the things that I could say, because, you know, everybody was like, you know, everybody was eating. I was like, damn, when I seen people come out of COVID, I was like, damn, did you eat your mother? So I did feel like, you're always eating. And so like you have to, you want to maintain what you did. You know, you paid money for it, so you want to maintain it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is like probably researching just who could do the massages the first time a little bit better. I paid for this one lady, and she was supposed to be really dynamic, and she sent somebody else instead of herself. She should have came. And, you know, probably not speaking up about that. Another thing that I hated was not being able to sit on my butt. You know, you said it was 6 months. My doctor the first time told me it was 6 months that you weren't supposed to sit on your butt. I started sitting on my butt at 4 months. But the one good thing about the girl who came to massage me, she said she was doing a girl from Brazil, a girl who went to Brazil to get her butt done. And the doctor told her to stop shaking her ass the first day that she got her butt done. And my butt is like fluffy, it moves and stuff. On the second round, the first round I felt like it was a little bit more stiff, but I started shaking my ass that first day.
So you start shaking.
Honestly speaking, I didn't wait no 6 months.
Oh, you didn't.
What do you mean?
I
Sit
waited
on your
about
butt?
a month.
What do you sit on? The pillow?
I didn't sit on my ass at all. I never
So
sat. So I had to lay. I would lay like this. I never sat down. Like if I had to eat, I stood. I would have like a stool that sit up, and I would eat my food. I never sat on my ass for. I think it was for the first. I think it was like 4 months. It was a lot, and I had to call the doctor and say, "You sure 6 months? Because that's too damn long for me not to sit on my ass."
So what happens if
So
you
they
work?
they give you a Bbl pillow.
Okay.
So it's a Bbl pillow, and you put it like right underneath of your knees. So as you're sitting, you're not on your behind.
Okay.
All your pressure's on this pillow.
Okay.
But it's extremely uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm in a dental field, so I can stand up and I can work in people's mouths standing up. That's not a problem at
Okay.
all. I will say for the first month, because after my procedure, I was off for a month.
Mm-hmm.
I did lay down. I also had a Bbl pillow, which actually squished my hips that they gave me, that I set into that pillow. But after a month, I was sitting down, I was driving, I'm fluffy.
You are.
I'm
So I
fluffy too.
didn't drive for 3 months. On the 4th month, I started driving because I was like, shit. I had to call because I'm like, hey, like that's too long. And he still told me not to sit for 6 months. He was like, no, you're not supposed to sit for 6 months. And it also might have been because of, like I said, there was nothing there. Like everybody used to call me SpongeBob SquarePants. So
Me
like,
too. Me too.
So there wasn't anything there. So he might have not wanted my cells to die because that's how a lot of people's cells die.
Okay.
So that's why they don't want you to sit on it for 6 months, because that's a foreign, even though it's your fat, it's still foreign to that area.
And everything don't take.
And everything does not take.
So when you say it doesn't take, where does it go?
You pee it out.
You pee it out.
Okay.
Yep, you'll pee it out. So, and you won't know. I mean, you'll know it sooner or later because that's how sometimes when you look at women, one side looks
Right.
different than the other, or one butt cheek took, or it might be a little bit fatter than the other butt cheek or something
Well,
like
some
that.
people look like they didn't have anything done.
Yeah, some people look like they didn't have anything done, but
Yeah.
that's also a lot of times those are girls who are a little bit thinner, and the doctor has told them to gain weight, and they might have gained weight, but still not enough because they're not naturally a fat. Don't really have that fat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, that's what not happened to me. I kept my fat in my buttocks, but I lost it in my hips. So my second surgery, he noticed it
Okay.
and he fixed it.
Yeah.
So what do you do to maintain your surgeries?
Mentally, I had to get prepared for the gastric. Mentally, that was the most mental surgery I had to be prepared for because before they give it to you, you got to go through class months before you get it. And mentally, I started eating smaller portions to kind of shrink my stomach because the smaller portions you eat. I still ate whatever I wanted to eat. I just broke it down in smaller portions to shrink my own stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So after I came out of the gastric, I still maintained that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen people go through that surgery and gain all that weight
All
back.
that
and
weight
Exactly.
I do not want to go through all of this and go back to that. And then it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Being healthy is expensive.
Yes, it is.
Even
Very
cosmetic surgery, afterwards it's expensive. Buying the massages, the garments that you have to buy, the vitamins that you have to take, the food everything is expensive. Maintaining this body, this weight is expensive to do. So you gotta be prepared. Not only be prepared to go pay for the surgery, you gotta be prepared after surgery to be able to maintain it. Mentally, people you don't never eat. I do eat. I eat when I feel like it. Sometimes I forget to eat because I set in my mind 8 years ago that I don't want to be this weight no more. I don't want to be that way no more. When I look at my before and after pictures, people are like, wow, you just people forgot how big I was. I just don't want to go through that no more. I don't want the diabetes to come back because I wasn't born with it. I developed it, so I can develop it again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to go through those things anymore. I don't. If this is something that I want to have done, it's because I want to have it done, not because I have to.
Yeah.
Because I went back to that mindset.
Absolutely.
So you definitely had to change your mindset. You definitely did.
So basically, you change your portion control and you make sure that you stay on top of your mindset.
Yeah.
So Tammy, do you have any recommendations for women interested in or preparing to get surgeries?
My recommendations is, if you're financially stable and you have a wonderful support, system, go for it. There's nothing else more that I can say. I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that easy. If you're financially stable and you have a wonderful support system, go for it. Because you have to live in yourself. No one else lives in you, for you, but you. So that's my.
How about you, Liz?
For me, financially, like you said, if you have the means to afford it, go for it. But the only thing that I would say is that for the financial piece, I feel like after the surgery is where the cost really comes in.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, you have to have those cavitations, you have to have the lymphatic massages, you have to buy multiple fajas because you're gonna be shrinking as you go through and get the massages and you're peeing out all of the tissues and different things like that. So that to me can cost almost as much as the surgery might have. Just depending on what, how far you want to take it. Like if you want to do cavitation, if you want to do, there's some other things that you can do after you have cavitation. I can't think of it right now, but it's costly. So, but I do believe in making sure you do you and making sure that you're happy at the end of the day. And I think a lot of times we're so worried about what others think. I just never been like that. I never really been worried about what other people think because you don't pay my bills. And
that's my favorite line.
Yeah, you don't pay my bills, so you can't really be concerned with other people think. Is it going to make you happy at the end of the day? And are you going to look good or feel good after you do it? That's very important. And then, like you said, the psychological piece, just maintaining the surgery. That probably one of the biggest things that I could say, because like you said, people get the surgery and then they blow up. You're like, damn, did you just get surgery? And I do notice though that like after you get the surgery, if you don't start like the walking and the different things after that, you might start to get a little bit bigger, but you can lose it just like you would lose any natural weight by exercising or doing, like you said, doing the shakes. I'm definitely gonna do that protein.
Well, that's a lot. You have to get up and you have to walk around and you have to eat properly because you cannot exercise till 3 months after the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do something.
When you get the tummy tuck, right?
And the BBL, you
Really?
can exercise.
Oh, yeah, you can.
And
When
protein is really good for women anyway, because
Mm-hmm.
like with the gastric, it do takes your hair out
Mm.
or thin your hair.
Really?
And protein is good for women hair.
A lot of times when some of my clients get the surgery,
Mhm.
they will lose hair. Like
Hair,
some
yeah.
of my clients right now are going through hair loss, and the hair will shed in big bulk. So
Yes.
I tell them to see the doctor and see if there's something that he can give them that they can take. I can do the work topically,
Yeah.
through protein treatments and such. But then they also have to take something.
Protein.
Protein and
Women should
biotin
have
pills.
like 60 to 70 grams of protein a day.
Mhm.
All women,
Mhm.
because it's good for our hair. Period.
Yeah.
And it also helps maintain the
But
weight.
you also have to be careful as well of how much
Much
protein,
protein,
and
right.
biotin,
Right.
because and it also will make you grow too
Hair.
much
Yeah,
hair,
that's true.
and you're growing hair in places that you don't.
Don't
want
protein.
Yeah.
That's why 60
Yeah.
is good.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why it's good for those classes and researching.
Yep. It's
Researching
very-
the doctor and researching
Yes.
your body, and
Yes.
because everybody's body is different.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know,
It
You
is.
ladies have definitely given us all lots of information
Mm-hmm.
and lots of things to think about. As for myself, I am a candidate for the weight loss surgery. I have done the entire process. I did it back in 2020. And then COVID happened and the thing shut down. I had to lose weight to do it. I lost 43 pounds to do it.
Congratulations.
But, then the surgery is now on hold.
Wow.
I'm still gonna do it
Mhm.
because I got diabetes. I was pre-diabetic my whole life. When I
Okay.
was thick skinny, I was diabetic, and then when my mom passed, I developed diabetes. I think we was eating terrible during the fertile
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
and I went over the edge. So when I look back at the pictures during that time, I was like, damn, I was fat. So now my husband, he is just like, whatever you want to do, babe, is what you want to do. But I want to do it like y'all for me, But unlike everybody else wants to get super skinny. I don't. I like being a plus size girl.
And you're a beautiful person.
I want to be still a plus size girl, but on the lower end.
And then also think about, because I hear people say that a lot too, and there's nothing wrong with being plus size, because I think that a lot of people in society has made us feel like, oh, being plus size is not the thing. It's not about you being plus size, because you can be plus size, because anything over 6 honestly is considered plus size.
Really?
Actually, yes, it is.
Yeah, I just want to be healthy. I want
That's
to be
right.
I want to
about
be
the
healthy, but
healthiness.
I don't. When I look at pictures, like I posted a Throwback Thursday picture the other day, and everybody was like, "I remember that girl. I remember that girl. I remember that girl." Yeah, that was that girl. I like this woman.
Right.
I like this woman. And so, if I could be a 14, I'm good with that.
Okay.
A 12.
A 12.
I'm good with that because that's thick.
Right.
I want to be thick,
Thick.
but healthy.
Yes.
So yeah, eventually, right now my surgery's on hold until we get through this hurdle, and then once I get through this hurdle, it's off and running. So you guys have definitely given me some things to think about. I don't want any plastic surgery. I did want to get a butt at one point, but
You had one.
which is weird. But I think
Because there was a time where you didn't.
not at all.
At all. Like your back
Was
went
growing up, I was SpongeBob, but I think gaining
As a
weight,
woman,
I got a butt from somewhere, and I think that once I have the surgery, the sleeve, I might lose my butt, so I might
Okay.
have to get,
Yeah.
because I'm not going back to SpongeBob. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
But y'all have
I
definitely
remember that. You always danced. You always
And my
marched,
butt
and
was
you always
flat.
could move.
Oh my
like,
God! And it was so flat.
Mhm.
Oh my
Like,
God. It's
yeah.
hereditary. Like it's hereditary.
Okay.
Oh my God! But I'm glad that y'all have given us the real deal, because everybody thinks that these surgeries are a quick fix or the easy way out.
Ain't
And
no
clearly, this interview was as in-depth as I needed it to be and as I wanted it to be, because it's not a walk in the park. And you ladies gave us the real behind the scenes. And I appreciate you being transparent, being raw, and being real. Butterflies, I hope you all learned something today. I appreciate you, Tyra, your time. I appreciate you, Tammy, your story. And I appreciate you, Liz, for being a part of our panel today.
I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely.
no
I
problem.
appreciate you
Thank
for
you,
allowing
ladies.
us to show our, talk about our stories.
Well, thank you. And Butterflies, as always, we appreciate you for tuning in. See you on the next time we're talking with T.